Good morning to everyone. This is Jeremy. This video I'm making especially for my brothers, the Igbos. Because yesterday, as I was moving across some of the platform, I came across this brother. His name is Igbo something. He was narrating the Igbo history. There was another brother who came up, and he said he's from Ika, and he was trying to uh, lay emphasis that they are not from Igbo, that Ika are not Igbo. And again, I met this brother, this Igbo, I can't remember the name very well, in the Anyi Anambra's page, why expatiating on the fact that those regions in the like Ika is part of Igbo. This is what I would tell you. Every kingdom or every land or settlement within the reach of the Igbos that speak the Igbo dialect, they are Igbos. The Igbo has a language and they have dialect. Now, that dialect is what most of the Igbo tribes speaks. You see, this is the problem. When we are narrating histories, some people are the part of history that is made available to them start from a place and end in a place. Now we try to make people understand that the history we know, that is all that there is. There is no other history. But we are forgetting that someone wrote this history due to the level of materials that were available to him or her then. And again, let me use this as a medium. I think this will further or better clarify what I'm trying to explain. Let me go to the Bible, even though many people will not agree with the Bible. Now, I just want to pick a point from there. You know, these Israelites, let me say, they started from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob. And Abraham already had his own settlement in the east. Along the line, famine, which is hunger, took them to Egypt. Now, they stayed in Egypt for about 400 years, 40 years, 400 years, thereabout. And I can tell you, the generation that moved to Egypt, most of them passed on from Egypt. But they kept their knowledge about who they are. Now, mind you, if these people had lived in Egypt for like 2,000 years, I tell you, you will begin to have an identity crisis. Because the people that are aware that they are not Egyptian are all gone. So what they have now are the children born in Egypt. Now, later in the future, they move back to their land and even beyond. Now, if, like I said, if these people had spent more time in Egypt, they would have the same identity crisis that both the Esa and the Igbos are having today. Because you will have group of people that will tell you, yeah, we are Israelite, but we migrated from Egypt. We are from Egypt. Then you will have few of them that will say, no, what happened from Egypt back to the land of Israel is a reverse migration. We were in this land before. Our ancestor came from somewhere and sojourned in the land of Israel. That became their land. But something happened that they have to move to Egypt. So what happened to them was a reverse migration from Egypt. They are not originally from Egypt. So there will be a conflict, because how do you tell these people that were born in Egypt who have no knowledge about what happened before their ancestor moved down to Egypt? So they will tell you our origin started from Egypt. So this is the crisis that we are facing. You see, the Igbos, the Esa, and the Yoruba happen to be one of the oldest tribes in Nigeria. And our involvement didn't start, our civilization didn't start from Nigeria. I'm not forcing you to believe this. We moved down from somewhere. We all. And before then, we were already just the tribe we are now. We have been existing as different tribes. Before anything about Nigeria, we all have been existing as different tribes in different places, which I cannot give you the fact right now. But from research, it has shown that we all have been existing somewhere before we moved down to this part of Nigeria. Now, what happened is that, in those days, it's not as it is today. Things were not properly documented. Now, there was issue of famine and also climate crisis, environmental crisis. So we all were moving just as everybody, we were all moving in our own tribes. You have the Igbo tribe. They might not be called the Igbos then. You have the Yorubas. We all were moving together, looking for a place to settle because the place we were then was already in chaos. So that is why today, when you go across Africa, you find a trace of the Igbos. You go across Africa, you find a trace of the Yoruba. You go across Africa, you find a trace of the Esan. In far Africa. Now you begin to wonder, how does our culture, why is our culture a bit related? Now you want to say, yes, we formed that place. No. What happened is that while this migration was taking place, some of our tribal brothers, they didn't continue the migration. They stayed behind and formed a place for themselves and their family. While others continue. The same thing happened to the Igbos. The same thing happened to the Yoruba. So the exodus continued. They were moving. Some people, their wives were pregnant in those days. They could not continue the race any longer. So they just look for somewhere to sit and start up their life from there. This is where it all continued. Till we got to this part of Nigeria. The Esan found their settlement in Esan land today. The rest continue. The Igbos continue. The Yorubas continue. They did not mix together. So some of the Igbos, some of the Esans that still continue the journey, they met in this place called, that was later called Idu Igodomigodo. While the rest Igbos and the Yoruba, they continue their race, the majority of them. So the Igbos settled in that part of Nigeria called East today, while the Yorubas moved towards the West and the North. When all of them settled, it was later, during the formation of Igodomigodo, these people were living together. Mind you, all tribes still kept their culture. They kept their language. So it was a multi-ethnic group formation. So all of them, they were living their lives with their, each person has a different family. They were just there living their lives in peace before the appearance of the Oromia that changed the information. Now, these people, the people that have the knowledge that they are Igbos, that they were part of this movement, are no longer there to tell the story. So the people you have are the people that were born from that part of the land called Igodomigodo. That information. And like the Esan people, when this crisis started, some of our Esan people in Igodomigodo, they came back to join their brothers. The same way the Igbo, they moved. The Igbos that were in Igodomigodo, they moved down. Then you find Ika, you find these other kingdoms that speak the Igbo dialect. They all left that center, that Igodomigodo, to find their own land, stay close to their own brothers. Now, this is very, very long time ago. So I don't expect most of those things to just be found in the history like that. So that is why you find that a man with a tribe will tell you, we are not Igbos, but they speak Igbo language. We are not Igbos, but they have Igbo culture. We are not Esan, but they speak mix of Esan language. We are not Esan, but they have Esan culture. You see that kind of conflict? Now, when you look at it, These people say we are from Benin. The Benin doesn't have masquerade. The Ika has a masquerade. The Igbos has masquerade. The Benin that said Esan came from Benin, the Benin doesn't have masquerade. But Esan has masquerade. Esan have cultural attires, traditional attires. The Benin doesn't have. The Igbos have traditional attires. The Benin doesn't have. So Benin was just a formation. Let me not call it Benin. I would rather call it Igodomigodo. It was an formation made by several tribes. But today, the way things are fast changing, and you have people who knew not how this all began. They are now claiming that we gave birth to you all, without knowing that we, the Igbos, the Yoruba, and the Esan, we are ancient tribes. Ancient tribes that when you try to trace our roots, you get missing, because the beginning is you can't even get the beginning of our existence. This is the issue. So what I will say, the same way we, the Esan people, are having issue with the Benin and some other tribes that still speak Esan language, it's the same way the Igbos as well. We have several crises with their brothers who speak Igbo dialect as well. Just take it easy with them. Knowledge is powerful, and it's not easy for a person to unlearn and relearn again. So until we get to that extent, let's teach our history with love and peace. Igbo, Esan, Yoruba, we have similarity in everything we do. Believe me or not, that is the truth. But I'm not saying that we are one, but we have similarity because where we are coming from. During this migration, we spend years together while moving, looking for a place to stay. So things changed between us. Probably there was intermarriage between us because it was a massive exodus. So a lot of things, really, we share a lot of things in common. I drop it here. Thank you very much. Till I have time to discuss again. I remain the old Jeremy. Bless you.